So for this week's Friday story, we're doing it's farm tour, multiple farm tours. And the reason I want to do that today is last week the Friday story didn't get put up when it was supposed to, obviously. So I did that short little video. And then Sunday night, late at Sunday night, I put up the video with Ed Rohl. And it kind of didn't get the views it should because of the timing. And I thought, let's do some farm tours. And if you didn't see that video, go watch it. And the tours, we're going to show Don's Blue Ridge Farm, which you'll hear about in the video I did with Ed Rohl. But here is a farm tour that I've wanted to do for a while. This is Joe Drier, so the Drier family farms, and just a really cool setup. A lot of harvesters, and they've had them for a long time. And beautiful farm that sits down in this valley. Good land, heavy ground, but good. And what a cool barn. Single story with a 2-story. All these, a lot of harvester stuff. And this slurry store, which was put up in 2004, and he figures this was the last slurry store that Brave Harvester ever put up. So it's got the newer slurry store logo and the Harvester font, so yeah, this was put up by Brave Harvester in Menominee, Wisconsin, 2004. Yeah, really cool. And then, yeah, here's the harvesters. I obviously like silos. So you got so here's how you tell how tall a harvester is. So those wind rings, count them. Add the number of wind rings to 30. So if you have one wind ring, it's a 40-foot silo. This one here, there's 4 wind rings. That'd be a 70-footer. This one, there is 5. That's an 80. That one over there is a 70. And that one right there is a 50. So, tunnel ventilation fans. Nice harvester belt conveyor. Ristler conveyor for a bunk, looks like. Ooh, I like the blue belt too. So you can see there's the original part of the barn, the 2-story, and then the single story. So we got heifers out here. Hey, Bossy. So they still milk in this farm. And we'll show you the beef cattle farm, his other farm, which is really cool. So is that a red Holstein up there, or is that a red Angus? So a lot of dairy guys started breeding the beef cattle for some of their heifers. So there could be, but yeah, I like that belt conveyor. So yeah, Joe's got a really cool farm here. It's a good look. All these silos. And just a neat barn, just a clean farm, So, yeah, I wanted to show you guys this one. We're going to go to the beef cattle farm, and then I'm going to take you down to Don's Blue Ridge Farm and the 80. So you can tell how cold it is, how cold it's been when that exhaust fan has just got ice on it. So, but there's these exhaust fans, which were probably put up with the addition, would be my guess. And then on the end, there's tunnel fans. A lot of big windows, which I like light in a barn, you know? So there's the tunnel fans, which they move a lot of air. When it's sub-zero, you don't really want to move that much. So they've been shut off here. But yeah, really pretty farm. So I'm at Joe's other farm, his youngstock farm, and this is really cool. The 3 harvesters together, you know, and that big barn, you know, high AMO on it. You know, even look at the roof on the milk house. It's just a really cool farm. You know, is that a Mueller bulk tank? It looks like sticking out of the milk house. Yeah, that's a Mueller. So the harvester, so this must be a 50. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so it's a 40. Yep. And this must be a 70. So this must be an 80 then. Yeah. Have the TV antenna up here. So they're down in a valley. So you get that TV antenna up on top. I suppose you get a lot better reception. And I'm guessing these were put up by Brave. I thought he still used some of these. So that must be yeah, they're still using the silos. Must be a Rissler bunk by the looks of it. The manure auger, I don't know if that's Pat's, maybe? Probably. Yeah, so that's an 80. With the old corn crib, oh, just a shed, you know, still. Yeah, really cool. So that was a corn unit. So this one must still get used, I'm guessing. Okay, so the 80 footer is the one that gets used. Goliath 2 on it. I like that look. That logo that Harvester had there. I love the feed room. Yeah, neat limestone foundation barn and just so universal pipeline. You don't see a lot of universal, but I believe we're not that far away from Duran. I think Duran Cooperatives was a universal dealer. But yeah, Mueller bulk tank. Yeah, this is a neat milk house. But I really like that universal panel there. And the barn is, so they've taken most of the stanchions out, but you know, big windows and just for an old barn, it's big, like big feed alleys, which you just didn't see on an old barn. But little calf pen. Yeah, this is a neat barn. Really is. These are huge windows. Wow. Yeah, this is neat. So that is a 2-inch. So 2-inch pipeline, it looks like. Universal. I wonder how many stalls this was. Probably about 40. Huh. So we're down at Blue Ridge. You can still see on the shed where the shadowing, where the letters used to be that said Blue Ridge Farms. And there was a dairy cow and a hog there because that's what was here. But this big blue shed with a shop, this was huge. Way, you know, when it was built. And growing up, this was a huge shed. But it's pretty rolling around here, but really good land. Don put trees in here in the corners too. And like I said, he did that field across from my mom and dad's and that little bit at the 80. And at the time, crop prices weren't great when he did all that. But I think it's been out of that program for a long time now. It's just woods. So we'll see. But Ed likes to hunt and Mike and their kids. So here's the old calf barn I talked about when we did 18 loads of hay in one day, and we filled that mow in one crack and then went and I think down to the 80 and unloaded more hay. But the calf barn's still standing. What got the barn was you can still see where one silo was. There were the 3 silos in a row here, and the barn was right next to them and being built into, you know, the side of the hill here. As soon as the cows were gone, it started to push, you know, the wall went, and then it just, yeah, it didn't last. But I talked about this big coulee down through here, and so the barn, the edge of the barn was probably right about here, and it was only about 40 feet, and it would drop off to this coulee. And yeah, it's way down there. And yeah, because the cow yard, you can see the edge of the concrete where the calf barn is still standing. This was the edge of the cow yard, and yeah, we'd be right in the cow yard here, and like I said, there's where the silos were. The manure pit was right out the end of the barn here, and it had an auger, so it would could actually stack the manure, if I remember right. It's been a long time, but we would haul that out with the skid loader and loader. It was semi-solid, but that kind of dropped off. You could see the edge of the hill, and then it dropped down into that coulee. And this whole coulee was pasture, and it went down in there a long ways. And it would actually curl around to the road. All the way up to the road over there was pasture. And so nice bringing the cattle up from pasture first thing in the morning to the barn here. So just a really neat farm, you know, just a neat area here. But a lot of good memories here. Yeah, it really made me sad when the barn and silos came down, but they kind of had to. That barns that are built into the side of a bank or a hill like that, just, if you don't have animals in there, the frost just gets them. So right here was the loadout chute for the finishing barn. So there was a finishing barn here with a pit where this garden is. And the finishing barn probably went all the way over to, somewhere right over here. Then there was a nursery in here. And then the farrowing house was right around in here. And it all had a pit. The farrowing house, though, didn't have a pit under the whole thing, just for, I don't know, a little bit of it, because it had a Pat's barn cleaner that would clean out behind all the sows. So you'd clean out the crates and put it into a gutter, and that would carry it to the pit, which that seemed to work. But there was your gestation pens then just south of the farrowing barn, and there it gets you to the coulee. So it's hard to imagine all the buildings, but they were all right here. It was a nice little setup. But you know, 1995, 96, and then 98 just destroyed hogs. The hog market was, yeah, wrecked. That ended it all. It's never been the same. So this is Blue Ridge, but beautiful spot down here. Maybe I can pull up the photos of what it used to look like. But it's fun. Thanks to the people that own so they sold the buildings off, and it was really nice of them to let me walk around here. So thank you very much. So this was Don's 80 here that we called it. This is where the story of the cattle stampeding and running was. And if you look, so you see that old concrete right there, that round footing, that's where that feeder was, where the cattle could stick their head in, where we used to grind feed and just dump it there, and there was a wood bunk that came out of there. The barn got taken down, I don't know, a year or two ago. There hasn't been cattle here in, it's been a long time. But they owned the barn, and you know, they shared the driveway and the well and everything, and I believe they sold that off to the people that own the house here. But yeah, there was 80 acres here, of course, minus the house, but just up the road here, so it's probably a mile to Blue Ridge straight west from here. Just up the road there's my folks, so from here to my folks' place, quarter of a mile. So it doesn't look real steep here, but this is the ditch where I was talking about trying to pull a chopper box up with that D100-06 Deutz and making the ruts in the blacktop here. I would think the statute of limitations is up, so no one can blame me for those ruts in the blacktop. But yeah, this is the 80 in here, part of it. The rest is west of it. But this valley is the valley that I grew up in. And like we were talking about, just phenomenal land down through here. I don't know if it's true or not, but the guy that rents that land had told me that, according to him, that Farm Credit has a productivity index rating, and some of this land through here is as good as anything in the country. I don't know if it's true or not, but so, and where all these trees are, Don put these trees in probably 20 years ago or a little more. This was all farmland, and he got paid to put it in trees. Right here at the intersection, that Rochester corn store, that's my mom and dad's. There's the house with the trees. I did a farm tour of mom and dad's when I talked to dad this summer. But yeah, so like I said, there's the 80 right over there. This valley is just really awesome dirt. So here is Blue Ridge in 1984. And if you look, you can see here's the coulee down through here. There's the barn, just a neat 42 cow barn. You can see it's kind of into the bank there that sloped down. And like I said, the manure pit was over here, and there's that stacker for the manure pit right there. And coulee, the 3 silos. There's the calf barn, which is still there. That silo went down, so all 4 of the silos are gone. This was I'm guessing a Madison, or probably a Madison. This one was a Weezer poured concrete silo, and that one right there was a Madison Grain-O-Matic, like I have. I have one here on my farm. So I would guess this one was a Madison. I don't know what this one was, but I know it said NFO on it. The guy that had the farm before Don was a big NFO guy. And then you can see there's the finishing barn there, nursery there. There's the farrowing barn, and then there's the gestation area there. I forgot there were cribs out there. There's the big blue shed. As you can see, there were no trees. There's the pasture that went down and comes around. But yeah, Don added those trees, which I still don't understand. But whatever, it's fine. But what a cool farm. And just, I should almost order this print. Wish they weren't so much money. But really cool. If you haven't ever been to Vintage Aerial, man, check it out. It's really neat. And maybe I'll see, maybe I can, right in this area, I should be able to find mom and dad's. And I'll show you mom and dad's from 1984, being that we're here. And there, right there, is mom and dad's in 1984. So still dairying then. This was before my mom and dad, though. They bought it after this. But there was dairy and hogs. So you can see there's the dairy setup, fuel barrels out there. This old corn crib was, I remember taking that down, the calf barn when that went down. There was an old chicken coop. So mom and dad have a shop right there now. Obviously, you know, the barn door's on the barn. That shed's still there. There used to be a silo there that had a sun on, a smiley sun. The sun had a big smiley face on it. There's the farrowing barn, gestation area, or there's the finishing barn still there. There's that Rochester corn store. But yeah, the Cargill building. That garage is still there. Yeah, really neat. I'm going to see if I can find the 80, but I don't know. But like I said, if you haven't seen these. So now across the road here, that's all trees. Don put that into trees. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of putting trees on cropland, but hey, it's how it goes. But anyways, yeah. If you guys haven't checked this stuff out, you should. It's really neat. I couldn't find it in 1984 or 1979. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love looking at farms. And check out this vintage aerial. This is really, really neat. Yeah. So thanks again. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please go check out the story I did with Ed all about Don. So, all right. Thanks.